Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a werewolf build in Baldur's Gate 3 using the Order of the Lycan subclass of the Blood Hunter class mod made by LemonsSoup here. Now, this is a mod that's now available in Baldur's Gate 3 for PC only. Hopefully will come to console here soon, but with this we're going to be going with the Order of the Lycan subclass, which fits perfectly here. Now, the Blood Hunter has these cool blood curses which you can apply on the enemy, and the blood curses function similar to spells or maneuvers. Now, there's some really good ones like the Blood Curse of Binding, which will bind an enemy, reducing their movement speed to 0 and stopping them from taking reactions so you can run away safely without getting an opportunity attack. I also like the Blood Curse of Exposure, so alter your blood with supernatural enhancement to ignore all enemy damage resistances for 1 turn. And then there's also the Blood Curse of the Eyeless, which you can use as a reaction and uses your Blood Malak charge to be able to give a 1d4 negative to a target's attack roll if they're attacking an ally within 9 meters. You can also mark a target, making them take 1d4 extra necrotic damage from our Crimson Rite, and also the Muddled Mind here, which gives disadvantage on saving throws, makes a whole concentration. So you actually have some really good options depending on what you're going against. If there's a concentration spellcaster and you want to shut them down, you can do that. If you need to just deal damage against someone with resistances, you got it. You can also protect your allies, almost like a very diet version of the Light Cleric. I'm going to go with the Blood Curse of Exposure and the Eyeless here. I think these two work really well together. Now, this is an intelligence-based class. And we can actually roll with this stat spread here. Going dexterity is something I like doing. However, if you want to use strength-based weapons, roll around with your dexterity. But the initiative die in Baldur's Gate 3 is a d4, so going dexterity-based is going to be the best option. You can use strength potions too if you'd like. But again, you can swap your dexterity and strength scores if you prefer. Now, with a Constitution 16, this gives us a lot of survivability as we do need it. We're a melee attacker, but you can also swap that out for intelligence. But I think that this works best as we are going to be doing a bit of melee attacking. And having 12 wisdom is important because we need to resist our werewolf urges here. And with this, we also will be able to succeed on saving throws against things that command and hold person. I guess I should mention the hair mod I'm using is Dint999's hair. It's available on console, and I'm using the Bangs Everywhere mod and adding even further bangs just to make myself look like a werewolf here. And then just base game dyes and eyes and things like that. And I guess it's the Rocks is everyone's skin glow eye, and the Rocks is vivid eyes. Now, once we get to level 2, we get our Frozen Rite, we get the Flame Rite or a Storm Rite, which you can use your bonus action and a Vital Essence charge to give an additional 1d4 of lightning damage, fire, or cold damage. I really like the cold extra damage. But lightning is good too. Fire is a little bit weaker, but still viable if you want to use it. And you can remove your rights at any time. Now, we also get a fighting style here, which is great. So you can go with defense if you just want to max out your armor class, or if you want to do a little ranged attacking, archery is great too. But I think defense just is a good choice. And then we get to choose one of these here. So I personally like the Rite of the Frozen. That's my personal preference here. But you get to choose which one of these you go with. The Storm one is probably tied for first. I would say cold and lightning are best, and the fire is the worst. But it doesn't really matter too much. It's your personal preference. Now, there are other subclasses here. I've talked about the Ghost Slayer, Profane Soul, and Mutant. I will cover them in a future video, but Lycan here. So you get the Heightened Sense, which gives you advantage on perception checks, and you get the Predatory Strikes, Crimson Rites. Well, in your hybrid form, which we use there, this makes you attack with your claws. When you use your Crimson Rite you can apply your Crimson Rite to your unarmed strikes, which you treat as one weapon. For 1 turn after transforming, you gain an additional bonus actions you can use to apply your rights. So we can go in our hybrid form. It eats up our bonus action, but then we can use our bonus action to actually apply the cold damage onto our attacks. And if you fall below half health, you must succeed a wisdom saving throw to be attacked to avoid attacking the nearest creature. It's kind of a cool ability. Your claw attacks do a 1d6 damage. It's not super high, but it's something. And yeah, this opens us up to some different types of builds. Now, I'd actually recommend, since we're going to be doing unarmed style attacks, that we go with the very powerful Tavern Brawler. But if we're doing this, you're going to want to use a strength potion because that's where you get the true potential from this, because this adds +8 to your strength modifier. Tavern Brawler doubles that to the attack and damage rolls. Massive boost to the damage, but if not, you can go with and increase your dexterity and focus just strictly on dexterity. But I guess going around strength is good, but since we're using mods, we may as well use strength potions, which are really easy to get. And then we could put our Constitution to 15, take it up to 16 there, or put it to 17, take it up to 18 with Tavern Brawler, giving us a lot of survivability. I went with a little bit higher intelligence just for the purpose of this build to show off the spellcasting a little bit better. And a specific item I'm using is going to boost up Constitution. But level 5, we get the extra attack. This is great. Our power spike here. And the Hemocraft magic, so you can use your Hemocraft die as a 1d6 now, so this further increases the elemental damage we'll be doing with our attacks, which is great. Level 6 gives us the Brand of Castigation. So you're an arcane branded to a creature you attack with a Crimson Rite, and every time the branded creature deals damage to you or a nearby ally, you can retaliate, dealing damage equal to your spellcasting ability modifier. We also get the blood. You get to choose another blood curse at this level. The Curse of the Marked is nice because now they take 1d6 of necrotic damage. But it's also nice to go with the binding one here if you need to stop a target from moving. That's great too. Yeah, there's a lot of good choices here. Actually, no, I'm going with the Muddled Mind there to be able to stop a spellcaster. I hate concentrations, especially if they're really screwing up our team, so that's great. Level 7 subclass feature, Stalker's Prowess. Your speed increases by 15 feet and your jump distance is doubled. So yeah, we run around acting like an animal. And then our hybrid form here, again, cloud attacks do 1d6, so this is now upgraded to get that. And you can add in another right here if you wanted, like the right of the storm. You can do some reverberation type stuff, although I do prefer the cold damage focus on that one. Level 8 gives us another feat, and Alert's a nice one, gives a +5 to initiative. Especially if you went around strength, we won't have any boost to our dexterity, so that's a really good choice. You could, I guess Savage Attacker doesn't really apply to our attacks here, but you can go with the Lucky Feat or the Tough Feat, which will give you more health, or with the Lucky Feat, you get additional luck points. But we can also go with the Ability Score Improvement easy enough and take up our Dexterity or our Strength, depending on which stat you rolled around with. Level 9 gives us our Grim Psychometry here, getting advantage on history checks, which is nice to have. Level 10 gives us our Dark Augment. Our movement speed increases by 1.5 meters, and you add a bonus to our Strength, Dexterity, and Constitution saving throws. And then we also get the Blood Curse. I guess another Blood Curse choice here, which we got the Marked or the Binding. I'm going to go with Binding this time. So you just want a target to stay in place. Level 11 gives us our Hemocrat Magic, now being a 1d8. So we now do 1d8 extra elemental damage with our attacks, which is just great. And then level 12, this gives us our final feat here. Again, you go with Alert, or you can go with the Dexterity or Strength increase there, depending on what you're going to attack with. I'm using the Kiss of the Scourge outfit mod by Moonblossom there. And the Horns of Berserker is an item that makes a lot of sense in this. So you get a bonus to attack rolls, which we don't need bonuses to attack rolls. We get necrotic damage. This is a big benefit of this one. There's a lot of other good ones. You can use the Haste Helm in the early game if you prefer using that. The Scabby Pugilist Circulate is great to increase your overall damage when surrounded, but this one is just fun and thematic. Now, if you're the Dark Urge, this makes perfect sense to use Dark Thunder Mantle. You can also use the Cloak of Protection if you prefer, or really any cloak. There's only a few in the game. Now, we got the Vest of Soul Rejuvenation here. This is good. You can actually throw Mage Armor on yourself here to give yourself a 20 armor class. This is not the best choice, though, but one reason I like it is you got the Greater Kashiko counter, which allows you to do an unarmed attack at any attacker that misses, and we got Tavern Brawler, so that's boosted up even further. However, if you really want to maximize your overall survivability, the Armor of Agility with a +2 to saving throws and adding your full Dexterity modifier will give us the best armor class possible. Now, we also got the Gloves of Belligerent Skies here. Whenever we deal lightning damage, we can apply Reverberation on the enemy. This is great. We also got the Disintegrating Nightwalkers, because I like to use the Snowburst string here to give us cold damage, making an ice surface, so we can create ice surfaces below the enemies, and then go around and they are slipping, we're not. I also like to use a Callous Glow Ring, which will do additional 2 points of damage against targets that are illuminated. This will also proc the Gloves of the Belligerent Skies if we're not using our lightning damage boost. So you can actually use the cold damage boost to proc this, and then since we got this ring here, it's actually going to proc our gloves too. So we can proc 2 conditions at once with our unarmed strikes. Pretty cool stuff. And we also got the Amulet of Greater Health to give ourselves a 148 health. I have this Sword of Chaos, which will give us some life sustain here. It's not really optimal, it's just your personal preference here, because whenever we go into our hybrid form, let's use our hybrid transformation charges, we can attack like this, and then we get unarmed attacks that we can do. So we got our claw attacks, which do our 1d8 plus our double strength modifier damage. So the damage isn't as high as like a monk doing their attacks, but still it's something. And you get to choose between slashing or bludgeoning, depending on the weaknesses of the enemy. And then you also get your Storm Rights too, which also boosts up your damage quite a bit. So then our predatory strikes there can deal a bit of damage. It's funny is that we do take damage if we fall below, or we get a bloodlust if we go below 50% health. It's kind of funny. And yeah, we're pretty angry. But to finish off the gear, we also have the Hellrider Longbow for the +3 to our initiative. You can swap out and use any type of weapon that you prefer having there, but that's what we'll be rolling with. And if you want to beef yourself up even further, you can use the Drake Throat Glaive to put additional cold damage on your attack there. Now, on our first turn of combat, we're going to go into our hybrid form. Not to worry, we get our bonus action back because it gives us extra bonus actions that we can apply our Crimson Right if you don't already have those applied to your attack. And it will actually remove it from your unarmed attack, so you still have to go ahead and do it. So you can use your Primal Right there to get your extra attack, or get your extra damage in. You will take damage for some reason, but or I guess, yeah, you do take damage. That's the point of this. You do take damage from our Blood Mallet. The sacrifice, you get the additional damage there, so then we can go ahead and attack. I'd recommend actually going in and doing a claw attack as kind of the function of this. So we'll do a slashing attack at this target here. Attacking with our claws, getting a nice critical miss. Love that. Go with the bludgeoning one for better luck. And there we go. We got our attack, turn invisible from our ability. And we now get the advantage on attack rolls, so we won't miss this one. And we did a little extra cold damage, so there we go. We got a surface blow of the enemy. Pretty good. We clawed away at that one there. Yeah, you can see you do take a little bit extra damage to be able to take out an enemy, but we have something set up to be able to make the enemy slip, so that's not bad. Our main hand attacks are actually very close to our slashing attacks here, so you don't have to do an unarmed attack, but they're fun. It's kind of the point of this class, so I like to use them here. We also got a bonus action attack there, which is great, because when we take on an enemy with this, we do get the predatory strike there, so we got our normal action attack, and then we got the bonus action one I'm going to use here. What's great is, yeah, you can just run around slashing away and setting up those ice surfaces. So we're great for support because we're going to make enemies slip and fall often. And then we can, yeah, just literally, the trick to this is run around, use your claws. I love the attack animations here. The brand of castigation here, so predatory strike slashing on them. This can sear the arcane brand into a creature we attack with our Crimson Right. Each time the branded creature deals damage to you or a nearby ally, you can retaliate, dealing psychic damage. And then uses a brand charge. We're going to use that because we don't have, we have a lot of those left to use. That knocked him prone, which is hilarious. He looks so funny like that. We'll leave them alone and we'll just attack this target here and end our turn. What's nice that we got someone to knock prone there, so they lost their turn. That's exactly why I like the ice surfaces, because they're going to run away from us. So we may as well get them to knock themselves down. And we also got reverberation, which is funny because if we actually threaten a target, like let's say we're standing beside our friend there, they come over, they get threatened. That's a condition. They can actually end up knocking prone and ending their turn. So we're very defensive and it's great. Now we're just going to try and take out all these targets. So I'm just going to go with the attack there. We now got our bonus action attack to attack this target here. So we should get a lot of attacks off, and the extra damage that we get from these attacks is quite nice. You can also use the luminous gloves, I should mention, if you want to go into radiating orbs. Since we have that ring on there, we can actually stack up a lot of them pretty quick and easy. And yeah, I guess there's one target left, so I'll just go ahead there. And I went with a weapon attack, meant to do with the claws. That's why I missed. And they tried to run away from us, so they got hit. And oh, that would have been amazing if they ran away and slipped on that. I guess I can use the Blood Curse of Exposure here on this target. Oh, I'm going to get mine broken, of course. But they made the opportunity attack, so that worked. Yeah, I didn't even end up getting to use the ability there that I wanted to do, but you get a lot of options when it comes to combat. It's a pretty fun class. I love the claw attacks. They're just so much fun. So there is a werewolf class mod. There are some mods that let you transform yourself into a werewolf. Just to mention a few mods, there's the Werewolf Origin, a very popular one by Lord President. They've done a lot of really great mods out there. There's also the Werewolf Background, which gives you a ability to transform yourself into one. And I also really like the Werewolf Potion here by Gabe Kamameskro, which gives you a potion that lets you turn into a werewolf. So there it is. That's the Werewolf Order of the Lycan Blood Hunter build in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you all in the next video.